Did you want to dress up as your favorite character? Maybe a pirate, the Lorax, or I don't know, maybe your favorite superhero? Well, slow your horses. There's somebody you need to ask first. The TikTok community.
Everyone is clowning on girls this Halloween for wearing the Lorax costume.
A baggy Nightwing compression shirt, that shit looking terrible.
Today I want to talk about Halloween costumes and what they say about our current culture. I hope you enjoy the video.
Here are the worst Halloween costumes you can possibly wear.
All across TikTok right now, people are telling people you can't wear certain costumes or you're not allowed to wear a certain costume that you might think is fun or silly. People are literally gatekeeping costumes based on what you look like.
These are the top 5 worst Halloween costumes you could possibly wear in 2025. You got Superman. If you don't look like the actual actor from Superman, Henry Cavill, then you might as well be cooked. This costume might as well be passed because everybody and their mom want to be able to take off their shirt and show the Superman logo. And I'm trying to save you the effort, twin, because the only people that make this costume work be the super athletes or the nerds. They be looking real geek.
Most recent example of this is when somebody wanted to cosplay as Nightwing and people were telling him he isn't attractive enough to do so. For the people who are listening to this who don't watch or read comic books, Nightwing is a fictional character from the Batman family who used to be a Robin, and now he is his own hero in the city of Bloodhaven.
Nightwing's hot. Canonically, Nightwing's like the most attractive person in the DC universe. There's actually this big debate that he's uncastable because whoever they cast is going to be like a letdown. Right now, you should
keep in mind that last part because I'll be bringing this up later. I think it'll be relevant to the bigger conversation that I want to have later.
Prisoner method is patched. Nightwing is the new method, but don't be doing it if you're scrawny and wimpy. You better be jacked. Alright.
This person decided to dress up as their favorite character, Nightwing, and since he did that, people in the comments decided to make fun of him. They decided to tell him that you can't dress as Nightwing. And this has been a trend on TikTok, people saying if you are not attractive or if you're not physically fit, you can't dress up as a certain character, and if you try to, you're cringe.
Brother, we're just holding the guy accountable. I mean, let's be honest, no one's giving him shit. Decided, oh, you know what, for Halloween, I'm gonna dress up as my favorite DC character. No, it's the fact that you know you don't look the part, you're not in shape to play the part, and you decided to post a video out there for the masses.
Secondly, there's been people who are like, no, you can't dress up as the Lorax. That's not cool. That's cringe. You're being cringe. Don't dare dress up as the Lorax. And telling people what they can and cannot wear. For the Nightwing thing specifically, people were body shaming him and calling him all types of different names in his comment section and saying he is not physically fit enough to be Nightwing, or he is not attractive enough to be Nightwing, which is just mean and rude. The idea that you can gatekeep a character's costume is really deeply silly to me. First of all, let's just say you can. Why are you gatekeeping it on attraction? Why aren't you gatekeeping it on if you're physically strong or not? Sure, dude, you have biceps, but can you beat up 6 thugs in the middle of Bloodhaven? Probably not. And to be honest, I understand more people who gatekeep the character, like I've always loved this character and now it's just a trend and I'm kind of mad at it. I understand that more even though I don't agree with it because I don't like telling people what they can and can't do.
It's not even really the fact that guys who I don't personally find attractive are going to be dressed as Nightwing this Halloween because, like, don't dish it if you can't take it, and, like, I couldn't take it. Like, if I dressed up as Starfire and everybody was like, you're not hot enough to be Starfire, I'd be devastated. So I'm not going to say that. But what I can say is that if I dressed up as Starfire, I know Starfire's lore. I've read her books. What I'm saying is, like, how many of these guys know the lore?
But that's entirely separate from what's happening here. People are solely telling him he can't dress away because they don't find him attractive. And it's not just Nightwing. I think it's more prevalent here, and I'll talk about that later. I've seen this with people saying, you can't dress up like Gojo, you can't dress up like Toji, and putting these limits on people on what they can and cannot wear. And it's just so deeply unserious to me because Halloween is supposed to be this time where everybody dresses up and they're trying to be funny. It's a fun time when you have with your friends and family and you dress up, you go to parties and you have a good time, right? And I've seen people say, oh, women are bad people if they dress up as the Lorax.
Weird girl costumes. And when I say that, I'm specifically talking about the big 3. Steve Harvey, the Lorax, and that big dumb inflatable dinosaur. I can't stand that dinosaur. These are the most insufferably annoying on the planet when it comes to Halloween, bro. Like, I'm so ass right now. Think of the most annoying girl you know. She dressing up as one of those for Halloween.
And so that's why I don't want to focus on body shaming, because it's not just that. It's a part of it, but it's not just that. Gen Z's obsession with controlling other people, what they can and cannot say, what they can and cannot wear. This obsession with, like, are you being cringe or not? Or, no, I don't like that. That's cringe. You need to stop immediately. If this guy wants to be Nightwing, it's perfectly fine. He's a strong guy. He can do pull-ups at his body weight. That's really strong. Most people cannot do strength training with their own body weight. If you can, you're like in the top 50% of people humanity-wise, right? What makes you the person who gets to decide what gatekeeping is on? He could easily say, you're not strong enough to be Nightwing. I'm stronger than you, so I'm going to be Nightwing and there's nothing you can do about it. He could say that. I mean, I would think that was cringe as well, but I mean, equally valid, right? It's a costume. Why are you trying to control what other people wear and what they can and cannot say or what they can and cannot do?
It makes no sense to me how y'all are going out your way to make fun of somebody enjoying themselves by being their favorite comic book hero. Like, God forbid someone gets their own costume to be their own favorite character for Halloween once a year. And just because he doesn't have the ideal physique, y'all are going out your way to just laugh at him and make fun of him, make hate comments and shit. Like, it makes no sense. And you know damn well half of y'all out there don't even have 20% of Nightwing's physique at all. And I don't have it either. But like I said, he's enjoying himself. He's having fun. Like, it's cool. It's okay to dress up as your favorite comic book hero. And I'll take it to this notch too. I'm seeing more men judge him.
When I sit down and I think about it deeply, I think it really boils down to is there's this control aspect of Gen Z. But secondly, I think there's a main character syndrome that Gen Z has amongst themselves. Let's go back to that video, what that guy said, right?
He's uncastable because whoever they cast is going to be like a letdown. I know.
Let's think about that. What does that mean? Well, in my opinion, that means that Gen Z, or just our culture now, is where a lot of people think that they are the main character and that everyone else is an actor, or like they're performing for them. So because they think that they're the main character, that they are the focus, that they are the person, that everyone else is performing for them, right? That they can dictate what you can and cannot do. It's not just you're a real person, you have your own thoughts and your own feelings and your own wants and desires. No, you exist for them to pass judgment on. Does that make sense? So for example, you know, and I know people are going to push back against this, I already can tell, but back in the 2000s or 2011, this fear of being cringe wasn't as big as it was. I mean, there was some cringe stuff that was happening, surely. However, if you go back in time and look at photos from 2008, 2011, 2010, you will see that a lot of people have cosplays on that don't really look that well. Halloween costume doesn't have to look perfect, but people fully posting their horrible costumes, the fun that they're having costume-wise. It was an entirely different culture of internet back then than it is now. And the reason that is because we have all become influencers in a way. The main difference from back then and now is that a lot of people are just more scared of being cringe. And secondly, I think there are a lot of people who try to take advantage of that and try to make other people not be cringe. You know, back in the old internet culture, you know, if somebody posted a silly costume, they weren't really worried about going super viral or having their entire life shifted around or being made fun of if they just posted something silly to their Facebook or to their MySpace. This idea that anybody could go super viral at any moment in time with any post didn't really exist in people's minds, so they didn't really act that way. And so this culture of telling other people what to do, what they can and cannot say, what they can and cannot wear wasn't really prevalent on the internet because, you know, if I'm being cringe and you tell me I'm being cringe on the internet at that time period, well, I'm just going to say, like, I don't care. Like, nobody's going to really see it. Like, 100 people are only going to see this. Nobody else will, right? But the internet shifted to an algorithm approach. So everybody became worried about being seen as cringe, about being seen as lame or a loser, right? And you see this on the internet all the time. Like, somebody will be like, no, why are you posting that? This is cringe. And you go to their profile and they themselves are being cringe. The only difference is that they just didn't go viral for it. And it's created this culture where some people think that they are the main character and everyone else, like, if they see something on their feed that they do not like, they get very angry about it. It created this culture where, one, everybody's scared of being cringe, and then two, people who think that they're the main character take advantage of that. And as soon as they see something they don't like, they immediately start calling you cringe to get you to remove it or get you to take it down. And then a lot of people do, or a lot of people give in, or a lot of people are scared to have fun because nobody wants to be that one main character of the day, or that one that everybody makes fun of, that everybody's like, oh my God, this guy's so cringe. Why did you put on Nightwing? You don't look like Nightwing. And that's new to the internet, right? This idea of telling people you can't wear that costume, it's cringe, you're not attractive enough. Just like how Nightwing is almost uncastable, almost like in real life, right? What does that tell us? That tells us that we're all kind of actors in a way. And I think for influencers, that's okay. Like, you sign up for the job and everything. And I think for people who don't post online, who didn't willingly post something to the internet, but you take a picture of a random stranger and then you make fun of them, I think we can all agree that that's bad and that's not okay. But there's this gray line that exists between where a regular person posts something on the internet, and I think only 100 people are going to see it. And so they're not trying to look their best. They're not putting on the best costume. They're not speaking like they're speaking to an audience of 1 million people or 100 million people. They're speaking like they're talking to their friends because they don't think that they're going to go mega viral, right? And then that person goes viral. They're seen as cringe. People tell them, oh, you're cringe, you're cringe, you're cringe. And then tell them like, no, you can't say this. No, you can't wear that. And that person is released to a barrage of mean comments, of mean people that they would have never experienced any other time they posted, right? And so it's a weird thing that we all internalize. Well, not me, because I'm an influencer, where before I was an influencer, where anything you post can go mega viral. So therefore, every time you post, you have to be as presentable as possible. Or you just have to accept the fear, I'm going to be cringe, or you don't post at all. And I think it creates a chilling effect where everybody's so scared to be themselves, to try different things, to laugh or have fun, right? And you see that even with the Lorax trend, is people are just having fun. It's a fun costume. There was a trend back in 2021 to have the Lorax as a costume. And the comments on those videos are way different from the comments that people are getting now because it became cool to hate on the Lorax. It's cool if you want to hate on people who are having fun or having a good time. You're lame, you're lame. No having fun, right? That's the current culture that we live with the internet. And I don't really like it that much. It's kind of lame. And lastly, I think this is the reason that Halloween has become so boring to a lot of people, because you have to put yourself out there and you have to try to be different, or you have to try to have fun.
Can I talk about the fact that Halloween is literally a dying holiday? Nobody celebrates Halloween anymore. I don't see people being excited anymore. I don't see anybody putting effort into the costumes anymore. Even November, and there's already stuff out in the stores for Christmas. Genuinely, what happened? I feel like nobody cares about Halloween. It used to be such a big thing. Everybody used to get so excited. All the stores were
Unlike a lot of other holidays, this holiday specifically is the time where you are most likely to be cringe, right? Think about it. If you try a new costume or try to look a different way, it could turn out horrible. And then you go to a Halloween party, everybody sees you, everybody takes a photo, and you look ridiculous, right? It doesn't happen on Thanksgiving. It doesn't happen on Christmas. One of the major holidays where you are at more risk of being a laughingstock to the entire internet, if that makes sense. So people try to play it safe. They don't go to Halloween parties anymore, or they just stay inside and they eat candy because, even subconsciously, people might not even know this is happening, right? And if I'm being completely honest and looking back at my own life, I had some horrible outfits that I would never try nowadays. I remember I had a Halloween scream mask with some knockoff Jordans on and just a robe. And that was my Halloween costume. And that looks so bad, just in retrospect. And I would never do that again. But just like how influencers try their hardest not to be seen as cringe, regular people have to try that hard now specifically. And it just ruins the fun of everything, right? Everybody has to perform and be super serious and super cool at every point in time. And it's just annoying. Let grown men and women have fun, dress in silly costumes if they want to. Who cares? Anyway, I hope you had a happy Halloween and that you enjoyed the video. Have a great day. Peace.